Hey loves, welcome back. My name is Kyle August, and I'm here to help you manifest in the quickest and easiest way possible. We are actually on our 14 days of love leading up to Valentine's Day. Today is day 9, in which we are going to talk about the fact that there's always going to be movement behind the scenes no matter what. So if you are just joining us today, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to watch these videos in order, but after this video, I would absolutely suggest to go back and check those out because they are going to be a lot of help. And if you have been along this journey since day 1, thank you so much for coming with me along this journey, along the way to manifesting your specific person. So let's get right into it. Throughout manifestation, we may begin to worry. Well, we're always going to worry at some point. Where's my movement, right? We're going to be getting into this state. We're going to be assuming the feeling, really feeling as if what we desire is already here. And a part of our mind, our logical mind, is going to say, well, then where are my results? And most of the time, you are going to see a lot of movement happening all around you as soon as you begin to change that state, move from that old story of maybe feeling single into that feeling of being in a loving and positive relationship. But if you are not inherently seeing all this movement, it may begin to bring you down. But here's where this idea comes in, and I can guarantee you that there absolutely is movement. You're just not seeing it yet. Think about the idea of your subconscious completely controlling everyone and everything around you. But our logical mind can only be conscious of what is happening in our immediate surroundings, right? Because we're utilizing our senses. We're utilizing sight, feeling, taste, smell, hearing, and most of the time, those things only happen in our immediate radius. But as you move into your subconscious, where all of your beliefs, all of those feelings reside, remember that you are moving and altering everything around you. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's without or outside of your power to actually change. So even if you are currently in no contact with your specific person and you're wondering, is what I'm doing even working? I guarantee you it's working. And I'm going to give you a few different examples of success stories that have happened during or with my coaching sessions that showcased this idea very perfectly. Now, I will say it actually is very common to see all of this massive movement be happening behind the scenes rather than right in front of your face. And I have a small, easy idea or concept that's going to explain that. So think about the idea of a manifestation of your job and then compare it to a manifestation of your specific person. Think about the assumptions that we have towards our job. Towards a job, we feel we have to make this movement. We have to change things. We have to take action. Our assumption is that all of this is an inanimate object and we have to place or exert action to change it. With that in mind, we then have these assumptions that we can change, we can basically move along a line to get to what we desire, right? Because we're assuming, again, all of these things are inanimate objects and that we need to do something to get it. So we can see that goal very perfectly. But then when it comes to a specific person manifestation, we begin to change that thought process, right? We begin to think, well, I am not in control of everything around me. We begin to lose that feeling of the power. We think, well, they're either going to like me or they're not going to like me, and I don't have any control over that. But remember that manifestation is more towards this idea that we're actually having towards our specific person than those other things. When you assume a state, you don't have to take action. You don't have to exert energy to get what you want. It's an illusion towards that job or towards whatever it else that we can take action to change stuff, because at the very basis of everything you achieve, of everything that you do in your reality, it all begins and ends with your subconscious. So you will see a bridge of events leading you to what you want, but know that it all came from your subconscious. So when it comes to a specific person manifestation, if we are assuming that we can't have control of this situation, of our relationship, then our subconscious is going to make a majority of it happen behind the scenes. But I guess when it comes to any manifestation, that's literally what's happening, and that's the whole point of this video. So whenever you see even a sliver or a small sign that what you desire is working, that means there is a mass amount of things happening behind the scenes to even allow you to see that sliver. But I'll go into detail about a couple success stories that happened that explain this again very well. So there was someone who was in no contact, and they were in no contact for months, and we were working together, and they were beginning to get very discouraged. But obviously we know everything begins and ends in your mind, and to take action or feel like you have to exert energy to get what you want only makes that thing harder, and that's that law of reversed effort. The harder you try to do something, the more difficult it seems. I got them into this confidence of knowing that everything, again, begins and ends within your subconscious, within your mind, within that feeling, within that assumption. We have to disregard things that are happening in our 3D reality or in our external reality, because that doesn't mean anything in regards to you succeeding in a manifestation. It all is about how you are feeling internally. So making this change, and then their specific person just shows up out of nowhere acting exactly as they wanted to. This is actually something very common with all manifestations. You kind of see, and I'll give you guys a really good metaphor to talk about, which gives this idea a little bit more depth. But throughout my coaching and through my own personal experience, I have always found there is going to be massive movement behind the scenes, whether you are seeing it or not. And you will then, when you get with your specific person, they're going to tell you about all the crazy, amazing things that happened behind the scenes. And like that instance of that success story, they didn't assume, they didn't see or hear or feel anything. They were getting very kind of minute successes behind the scenes that they kind of played off, but I knew was the perfect bridge of events leading them to their goal. And then again, their specific person literally showed up exactly as they wanted. They were basically obsessed with them at that point in time. But this has happened. This isn't just a one-time thing. This happens so often. So if right now you are not getting all of the amazing, miraculous results that you feel you should, remember, if you see even a sliver of what you desire coming through, that means there is a whole host of actions and movement happening behind the scenes for you even to see that. And here's going to be the metaphor that really brings this into light. So look around you. Maybe you're in your room, depending on what time of the day it is when you're watching this. Look at these blinds right here. You see how there's like small slivers of light coming through? What if I were to act as though this is all the light that there is? Imagine that. Imagine this is the only light left coming through the window to illuminate the entire Earth, our entire solar system. You'd instantly be like, that doesn't make any sense, right? But that's our concept, the thought process, when we see a sliver of what we want coming through, and we assume that nothing else is happening behind the scenes. But as you know, we are seeing this sliver of light, but behind this window, there is a giant star giving off so much light and so much energy that we can't even fathom. But just because we're seeing a little sliver of it come through the window doesn't mean that thing is not happening behind the scenes. So when you see your specific person on the street, when they send you a text, hey, how's it going? That's that sliver of light coming through. But don't feel as if that is the only thing that's happening. Just because that's all you can see doesn't mean there's not massive, massive movement happening behind the scenes. Just as this little sliver of light behind the scenes, there is a gigantic star that is exhibiting and pushing out, giving out so much energy, but we're only seeing this little sliver of it. So now, anytime you are seeing small movement, give awesome and amazing positivity and success to that movement or that thing or idea. Many times I have people who almost kill their motivation or take themselves out of the state because something very positive happens and they think, well, it's not exactly what I want, so I'm failing, right? So maybe, and I've seen a range of so many things happen in this way. Like I've seen someone get a text from their specific person and think, well, they're not calling me, so this isn't good enough. I've seen someone go on a date with their specific person and think, well, we're not dating, so it's not good enough. I've seen people or heard people get kisses from their specific person and think, well, we're not married, so this isn't good enough, right? But think about how that idea is going to kill that motivation, kill that feeling within you. How can you be thinking or feeling that way if you are in the end state? If you're married with your specific person, are you going to be thinking these ideas? Absolutely not. You would cherish and love everything, all the success, all the abundance that is coming into your life. So anytime you ever see a little bit of success, don't think of it as a little bit, because we're just seeing that sliver, and behind the scenes there is massive, massive movement happening. This idea is especially good for people who are currently in no contact and kind of doubting the whole process or the whole situation, because like I mentioned, I've had multiple success stories with people I've worked with that literally were not seeing movement for a month, and then their specific person pops up into their life in the exact way that they want, because we always assume that movement or progress is linear. So meaning it's going to go at the same rate coming into our reality, but it's not. Things change, things alter, things happen overnight very quickly. Within very small periods of time, you're going to see massive movement, because again, when things are happening behind the scenes, there is so much going on that as soon as your specific person shows up, they're going to tell you about all this stuff that happened. But no, it was your mind, it was your feeling, your assumption that actually caused that thing to happen. But I hope you guys got a lot of value or information out of this video today. If you liked it, make sure to give a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can continue along with me on this journey of 14 days of love leading up until Valentine's Day. But also remember, you can always go back to these videos for more advice, and I'm always going to be putting out more and more content, so you don't want to miss it. If you do have any questions or comments on this video, leave it in the comments section below. If you wanted to send me a personal message or wanted one-on-one coaching, just head over to my website, kyleaugustcoaching.com. But like always, that's all I got for you guys today. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.